Welcome to Center Ground, your home for unfiltered discussion, where we tackle today's most talked about topics, break down current events, and give our take on the internet's latest foolishness. Tune in and let's find some common ground. Let's get this party started. Welcome back to the Center Ground podcast. It's your host Bootsy once again. I'm blessed to say that I made it back home safely, so hopefully I can continue to push out better, higher quality content now that I'm back home. But I can't lie, while I was out, I actually had fun doing a bunch of these reaction videos. So I think I'm going to keep them up for now, but I'm also going to get back into a bit more tailored content. But I came across this one. I think I was on a plane, or right before I was on a plane trying to download some stuff. And it's weird because now when I look at YouTube, it's no longer just for fun anymore. I'm actually looking for things to review now. But I came across this video, The Epidemic of Performative Men by 4D Shams. I watched a few seconds of it and then I saw the thumbnail. So I feel like it told me everything I needed to know. I feel like this video might be more female oriented, advice for the ladies. Just honestly, I feel like we're going to see a bunch of clown behavior, and it's just like, ladies, these are the exact dudes you should stay away from. But if you know anything about women, you know that women love shiny, flashy things, and that includes people as well. So they're probably still going to like these guys regardless of what anyone says, but at least someone tried to warn y'all. You know, I was thinking about why women love shiny things, because women really love shiny things. Like, it's not just something people say on the internet. It's really true. And, you know, some people believe it's an evolutionary thing, right? Because things that shined and glimmer was usually meant for survival at times, like water, right? You would see the shine of water. You knew you had life. As long as you got water, you got life. That's why people keep saying, everybody who's saying, I'm saying, make sure you drink that water. It really is just liquefied life. Also, as time grew on, you know, sparkly, shiny things were a sign of success, like diamonds and jewelry and things like that. And then also, you know, even nowadays, packaging and stuff like that, you got a little bit of glitter on it, you think it's a luxury product or something like that. But I'm talking about nonsense at this point.
I'm 38.
And what do you do?
I own a trucking company and a car wash.
Okay, very cool. So what are some things you do for fun?
Travel, book private jets, yachts, and pop bottles in clubs.
All right, stop right there. Right there. Already we started 12 seconds in, and we start with the foolishness. Ladies, if you meet a guy and you asking him about himself, hey, what do you do for fun? And he says some nonsense like chartering jets and popping bottles, run. Just run. Run as far away and as fast as you can. Run like Forrest. Run like the wind. Just run.
Run, Forrest, run!
Because I'm telling you, this is a red flag from jump. What he's trying to do is appeal to your carnal nature of wanting provision. He's appealing to that carnal nature of liking things that shiny. Look at this guy. He got chains on top of chains on top of chains. Like, he got 2 wristbands. Why do you need 2? He got another, I don't know what that thing is. It looked like brass knuckles on his other arm with the microphone. You don't need all that, right? So when you see people who are actively trying to be overly flashy, that should be a clear, telltale sign that you should probably get away from them.
For me, a perfect day, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take you shopping.
Wow, listen, it's a whole nother video. He already doing the same thing. Like, this is madness. I don't know why. I mean, it works for some guys because it's like they get the low-hanging fruit type of women. But if you see this and it don't already trigger something in your mind that says this is not a good idea, there might not be much hope for you.
Get your hair done, get your nails done.
Okay.
Pick you up in my double R. Probably got 1,000 roses in there.
Oh,
In the
okay.
Rolls Royce.
Why would you put 1,000 roses in a Rolls Royce? That don't even make sense. It's like, you can't even drive. You can't see. Like, who wants that? Look at this lady's face. Like, you should be able to tell this is not gonna work out just by listening to this guy speak. Like, I mean, like, game is game, right? If he trying and it works for him, I say good for him. But look at her face. Look at the dude's face in the background. Like, I'm telling you, if you can't see these signs dead on, there might be no hope for you. You might be doomed to, be in a relationship with a bunch of losers.
For just one date?
After that, I mean, shit, we gonna
He
just go
removed
with the
the
date.
cap
You know
on
what I'm
that
saying? Nah, for real.
So technically, bro isn't even planning anything or putting in much effort. He's really just flexing his money. And there's a huge argument that he's probably doing it to stroke his ego instead of doing it to make her feel special.
So we gonna just go with the date. That's if we in the city. If we not taking no trip, like I said, I'm pick you up, double R, roses, all that, the whole thing.
We heard the double R, bro. We heard it. You got a Rolls Royce.
You know who balloons you gonna pop already.
See?
What?
She got some common sense. Thank God. Because that, it's like, dude, really? Like, that's what you leading with? Not here's what I believe, not here's my morals, here's my values. Just, I got money and I'm going to spend it. That don't even sound like a bright future. It sounds like a doomed future.
Were you going to pop this?
Just because it was like the stuff he mentioned, like brands, cars, and stuff like that. It's not really
cornball.
For that matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm more laid back than that.
You said if it's my girl and we're in a relationship.
Could have said I'm gonna pick you up, like, oh, I'm gonna pick you up in this. All right, now it's kind of like.
It's cool. I'm just saying I wouldn't have dated you anyway.
Okay.
Damn.
Nah,
Because you got the makeup.
man.
Yeah.
And,
See, y'all gotta be careful with dudes like this. First of all, let's speak on insecurity, right? Flashy men tend to be some of the most insecure people on the planet, because what they do is they gotta show their worth because they don't have worth. I'll say that again. Flashy dudes tend to be some of the most insecure people on the planet. That's why they have to show their worth, because they have no worth. And the equivalent, I guess, would say like a woman who has to show off her body. Right? When people start off like that, understand it's not going to end well. And you might as well just avoid them, because it's going to be a complete waste of your time. You're going to get frustrated and you're probably not going to end up happy.
you got like lipstick on your teeth.
Damn.
And it's like you got like a blood clot in your eye.
And see, now he's going to the petty arguments. And this is what we hate when women do it. So I'm going to call out when the men do it. She don't like you, bro. Move on. But I think, you know what I honestly think? I think he was trying to go viral and trying to get some money off social media clout, because that's what a lot of people do nowadays. They don't even go on these shows to try to actually find love or even find a relationship, because I doubt you're gonna find love on a internet show popping balloons. But these people don't even try at this point. They just go on and try to insult somebody, go viral for a little bit to get their 2 seconds of fame.
Yeah.
So those.
Then again, he might need it to pay for those double R's and the 1,000 roses and whatnot, and the chartering jets and everything else he was saying. Yachts.
Clips you just saw were from a dating show where you basically pop the balloon if you're not interested in the person. And the star of the show, Mozzie, is what you would call a performative man. I like to think of performative men as guys who do things for the female gaze. From the way they act, the way they talk, the way they carry themselves, their lifestyle, it's all a facade set up to attract women. And the thing is, performative men come in all sorts of fonts. Yes, one archetype is the rich, dope boy swag, the chains, the tight skinny jeans, the tattoos, grills, trick first.
Before he gets into it, because I wanted to see if he's going where I'm going, performative men are also simps. And I don't think a lot of women understand that, because they're saying what you want to hear, so you kind of accept them for being great. But most manipulative men and even abusive men, they don't have money. They're not like the dude from 50 Shades of Grey or whatever his name was. I guess his name was Grey, right? They're usually lowly, regular guys who just tell women exactly what they want to hear, so that they can get something out of them. So, honest to God, ladies, one piece of advice from me, some midlife advice: if you with somebody and they saying all the right things, your antenna should be up, and you should start investigating. Because ain't no way ain't no way somebody's just saying everything right unless they practice it on a bunch of women. You should go for that guy that seems a bit nervous, seems a bit awkward, scared to say what he feels because he don't want to mess up. Those are the people who are the diamonds in the rough that you can build with. Those people who are already polished, and this goes for men as well. Those women who are already polished, look like they're doing everything right. That's because they run a game on you and they had a lot of practice.
Ask questions later. I'm not interested in getting to know you at all, but I can buy you this nice ass bag and this nice ass bracelet. Performative man archetype. But on the other end, you also got guys like these. These are also guys who do things to almost strictly attract.
What was that? That was Carlton on the escalator? What was that?
the female gaze. Whether it's walking around reading a book in places that just don't make sense to read a book, or getting
Oh, he was reading a book. I didn't even catch that. I just saw the sweater vest. But it also reminds me of back in the day, they used to always have like that, the nice guy who would read poems and he would play a guitar under a tree on a college campus. Like, yeah, those dudes are playing the character. Be careful.
drinks that they don't necessarily like, but they know fits a certain aesthetic that women like. Oh yeah, there's also the guys who change their whole fashion sense to appease women, wearing crop tops, painting their fingernails, getting piercings. And don't get me wrong, you have free will if that's what you
Ladies, come on now. If you fooled by a dude painting his nails, I mean, that's on you.
want to do, that's your prerogative. But these guys are doing it strictly for the female gaze. And the thing is, they try so hard to be what women like instead of being themselves that it's so easy to spot. And in the process, they end up looking corny, pretending to like art to impress an artsy girl. And I know some of you guys might be thinking, no, they're not being performative. There's definitely guys out there who are into art. And I totally agree. There's a niche group of guys who are into art and they embody this archetype, natural. But notice how I said niche, that's the key word. A lot of these guys are not part of that niche group. They're putting on a facade and they're using it to manipulate people. And the reason for that is because
Yeah, I'm glad he said it, because that's all of this is. It's all manipulation. When people put on fake characteristics to gain access to someone, it's being fake. It's fake characteristics. None of it is real. None of it's going to last long. This is why most people's relationships don't go very far. Right? Because people can only keep up a facade for but so long. Eventually, the real them is going to come out.
they're extremely aware of how attractive women find artsy men. Seeing a fine artsy with a nose piercing, knowing I need to change my type if I ever want to get married. I adore creative men. They're so in touch with their emotions. And then of course we have these edits of artsy boys. I'm hoping you're starting to see the patterns here. You can't tell me my boyfriend isn't artsy. He walks around with his coffee in a camera lens mug. When I see the most mediocre man, but he has features that vaguely resemble a woman and he's in some way artsy. Realize
I always found that weird. Like, it's strange to me because a lot of internet women, I don't think this is like real life women stuff, but a lot of internet women make claims like they like feminine men. It's very strange. It's like they want to date a woman, but they want it to be in male form. And it's also strange because it's like sometimes when they have the inverse argument, they talk about men and they be like, just because you want to hang out with your boys, they be like, oh, well, you want to date men? It's like, but y'all want men who act like women, who dress like women, who paint their nails like women. Why? Because someone like Drake did it? Like, that's ridiculous.
that when I feel attraction on any sort of level, it's towards extremely feminine men, women in practically every font, or androgynous people. Pretty artsy guys, hearts, silent repost. I love.
And what's funny is it's not new either, because if you look at people like Prince, I mean, some of the things he used to wear, it's like, yo, what is that? But I mean, that man was talented. Shout out to Prince. R.I.P.
Bob Ross, 2Girl, silent repost. Me, literally define me. Yes. This is oddly specific and fitting. Mine is good at gardening. Yes. Oh my God, same. Very accurate. So real. Me for real. Wait, that's me. And for all the guys who are still putting on this performative artsy guy persona, sorry to break it to you, but the method has been patched. When a man presents himself as artsy and vulnerable, but he really just stole his personality from every girl he's been with. Now let's look at the comments. My type, unfortunately. Why is it bad? Yeah, so maybe the method wasn't patched after all. Don't remind me of that. But no, on a serious note though, women are starting to catch on just how corny these guys are. POV, guy who pretends to know art.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like this is all art. I think they just make it up as they go and see who like actually believes it. Because some things, I remember I went to an art gallery and the minute they started explaining stuff, I was like, it's time for me to go. There ain't no way.
To go back into the pre-industrialized Toronto indigenous communities, they had these flowers representing the essence of life. So this is a nuanced graffiti approach.
And keep in mind, these guys come in almost every age range. Sure, in the past they were probably referred to by a different name, maybe like hipsters or posers, but it's the same archetype. That guy who's way too artsy.
Hey, if you're around tonight, I'm putting together an audio-visual experience. Yeah, it's like an underground, visual, audio, sensual, artistic, tribute to like the duality of man. Like it's really hard to describe, but it's gonna be in a basement. There's gonna be dancers. There's gonna be pottery. There's gonna be cheese tasting at the end. Dress code is like whatever, but you don't have to wear clothes.
And obviously this is satire, but there's really guys who are living like this. And it's super misleading and almost feels predatory how they fake their personality to get.
I mean, it is predatory because they do it to get what they want and then they move on. But like, I will say this, the amount of dedication that some of these guys put into fooling women should be studied. Like, it's terrible, but it gets done so frequently. And it's like, we have the internet now. Y'all should know what a catfish looks like. I don't get how people still get catfished in this day and age. Like, doesn't Catfish have like 20 seasons now? Sheesh.
Get laid.
I'm really into female empowerment. Kim Gordon's hot. I love women. I think I'm gonna do something feminist and paint my nails. Maybe wear some earrings today. It's just so sad how tortured women are. When I go to shows, I beat up men that are misogynistic. I only go for emo girls because equality. Tell me about your problems, queen. But kiss me first.
POV, your date is a performative male.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up? You look gorgeous. Can you hold my
Of course he has matcha.
I'm gonna get a shot of you on my dispo if that's okay.
Sure.
Reading 3 books at once is crazy.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, come on in.
I'm mad unobservant today. Like, I didn't even notice the 3 books. Like, you're wildin'. Look at his shorts. Look at his shoes.
Go ahead and have a seat over there if you want.
Okay.
What's on your keychain?
Oh, this is my Labubu. I also got this Labubu here. This one's rare. It's huge, but I don't know. I'm just kind of into like the whole Labubus lately. I don't know what it is.
So, what are you reading?
Right now, I'm reading Secret History, Metamorphosis, and Anna Karenina. But I usually do 2 at a time. I was feeling a little crazy today, though. So I really recommend this one. You can borrow it if you want. It is annotated, though.
Oh.
And outside of the getup, the costume that they put on, these guys will do any and everything to sound deep, to sound profound. They're always using words like nuance, duality, equality, feminism, just anything to make them seem more intelligent, more woke. And all they do is basically virtue signal. Whatever.
Them dudes took a feminist studies class in college. That's really what it sounds like.
The popular opinion of the day, they're gonna align themselves with it. They're the type of guys who'll say something like, can we talk about the socio-economic state of the world?
I go around sometimes and I hang out with other people that are my age and they're just kind of selfie. I'm just like, dude, like, oh my God, like, can we talk about like the political and economic state of the world right now?
And if you don't believe,
yo, I can't take no grown black, young or old man serious that dyes their hair, especially blonde.
me when I say that performative men do the things they do as a form of manipulation, I'll just let a performative man tell you himself.
To all the matcha drinking, Claro listening performative guys out there, you guys should be ashamed of yourselves. You guys took away the one thing that I had. The one edge that I had when it came to manipulating women. I used to be able to go into a cafe and order a matcha, and everyone would look at me like I'm super niche.
And luckily, women are starting to see through the facade, and performative men have almost become a meme. You got performative male contests, you see the matcha, the tote bags, feminist literature, labubus. We got another contest.
Such an honor to be voted the most performative man.
That's crazy.
Yo, it's crazy how this stuff works, right? How everything's connected. I saw 2 dudes at the airport in London like this, and I just thought they were gay. Honestly, I didn't know this was a thing. I thought performative men was just dudes that like pretended they have money or pretended to be sensitive. They kind of took it to another level. Man, this generation is wild.
And I know some of you guys are thinking, Shams, this seems pretty harmless. I mean, what's the big deal? Stop being so uptight. But see, performative men become a real issue when they turn into something called a Panda Bear. You could call this the next evolution of a performative man. Panda Bears are these men in real life and on social media who basically make it their whole personality to shit on other men and say and do anything.
Derek Jackson. That sounds a lot like Derek Jackson. That boy was talking all kinds of smack about men. Meanwhile, if you play the tape back, he was talking about himself.
To appease women, to pander to women, to make women feel good. And to some extent, their content is really rage bait because they'll say whatever sounds good to women, even if it doesn't necessarily.
Yada Awakening. That's the other one. He just be saying wild stuff. If your man not giving you $5,000 on your first date, is he really a man? Nope, because who's doing that? Like, what clown? First of all, that means you gotta pay your wife or pay somebody to be your girlfriend. We just saw Rick Ross get curved by the chick he was with. Why would we pay people? That's what happens when you paying them to stick around. Find people that like you.
Really makes sense. Women who are emotionally vulnerable, women who may have been emotionally abused, will easily fall for it. I'm gonna show you some clips of some of the stuff they say. Now, some of it is gonna sound clearly ridiculous, but some of it is gonna make sense. But when you give it more context, when you take a deeper look at it, you start to see that the intention behind it isn't pure.
Her Cash App and Zelle, and what's her full name and birthday? Book her a trip. If you really want her, do something different. Stop asking her to the movies or the dinner. She can drive there herself. Do something no one else is asking her for. Take her on fucking vacation.
Do something no one is asking her for. Do something no one. All right.
You cheap, broke bastards. Otherwise, leave her alone. Let a rich demon come and get her. Oh man, she need to be. Nobody want to hear about your spiritual future, motherfucker. She want to be on a plane getting back shots on a balcony.
I mean, he was right about one thing. He's definitely a demon. But can we admit how crazy the stuff he said sounds? So you want me to take this lady that I just met, I barely know, she doesn't know my background, I don't know her background, on a vacation, and you want me to book it and pay for all the expenses? Outside of how dumb that sounds financially, can we talk about how unsafe that is, especially for the lady? Like, imagine women truly started following this advice. Trafficking would literally go through the roof.
Listen, I don't know who needs to hear this, but all you gotta do is look at his past. Look at his...
Look at your past, buddy. Look at your past.
I don't know who need to hear...
Yo, it's funny because all grifters that do stuff like this, they got like similar lifestyles. Like they usually treat their women like garbage. They usually got a bunch of babies in multiple different places by multiple different women. They're overall just not good men. And it's like, who would have thought that people who leverage manipulation aren't good men? Who would have thought?
It is. But you ain't cash at that girl all fucking week, King.
Yo, it's so funny seeing Panda Bears getting exposed, bro.
Listen, if a man asks you what you bring to the table, that man has a low credit score.
I don't know. Maybe he's just a normal functioning adult who's looking for a partner and not someone who expects them to act like a sugar daddy or expects them to baby them.
A man that's unable to provide for his woman should not be having sex.
There you go.
Brother.
And see, this is what I'm saying. These guys will...
There you go. This dude, he made a bunch of money selling fake cures. And I guess that industry dried up a little bit. Maybe they started regulating and made sure he couldn't do it no more. So he shifted his grip to telling women exactly what they want to hear, no matter how crazy it sounds. I guarantee you, I hope he plays more clips of this dude because he be saying some of the wildest things.
Literally say anything, and people who are emotionally riled up will just eat it up. How about instead of neglecting your partner, just working together to get back on your feet? So okay, these examples I showed you were pretty obvious in their ridiculousness. Well, actually, you never know these days because there's actual adults out there who are taking these guys seriously, so I can't even say that. But the next couple of examples I'm gonna show you sound more wholesome. But again, the intention behind why it's being said aren't so pure.
Sometimes, bro, her anger ain't even anger.
There you go.
It's built up hurt. Because women don't just wake up angry. They slowly drown in ignored feelings until that emotion erupts. Never.
I wonder what ignored feelings his wife had. You know, the lady who had to sit next to his dumb self as he pretended like he was sorry so that the women wouldn't drop him. What's crazy is people found out how horrible this man is, and he still has a bunch of female followers. Some people can't be saved.
Underestimate how fast a woman will cut you off for making her feel like she's begging for your love. Some of y'all ain't gonna like this, but ghosting the girl who did nothing to deserve it is emotional abuse. And no man plays the victim better than the one who caused the damage. Look, sis, don't let no man convince you that by you holding him accountable for his actions, you're bringing stress and drama and being negative.
And let's just go ahead and look at some of these comments. Clap emoji. Amen. Amen.
Exactly what I was talking about. There will always be women who will agree as long as you're telling them what they want to hear. And because of that, that's when you run into problems. So young ladies, if you're listening, don't be like these women. All of these women will be a victim of some manipulative man at some point in their life, if they're not currently. Why? Because they would rather listen to someone telling them what they want to hear than someone being honest with them. And when I tell you, the honest man is usually the one you want to stick around long term, because the honest man is going to make sure that you're good long term.
Amen, amen, preach. I've never heard anything more accurate. Wow, this man gets it. You spoke the whole truth, so true. These are all women, by the way, all women. Again, comment section full of women. All women, 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 women.
And you're starting to see why men use manipulation tactics on women. To say that it works is a severe understatement. I knew broke dudes who had no money, living with their mothers, no job, no prospects, no future, no ideas, no nothing. Right? And they would just lie about their positions. They would use up whatever money they have or get whatever girl to buy them stuff, and they would buy fake jewelry, you know, nice clothing. They would steal it. They would do whatever for this stuff. And then they would go out on dates pretending like they got it like that. And then once they get the draws and everything else, they disappear. Why? Because they can't keep up the lie. Literally, they broke. But still, they got what they wanted, and that's why they left. All right, and towards the end, I'll get into some of the tactics that like some of these abusive people use. But come on now, this stuff should be obvious at this point.
Facts, 1000%. Finally, a man that understands my psychology. Straight running facts, living proof. Finally, someone understands us. They always make it look like it's us when it's them. Finally, someone understands. I love the parents that raised you. That's exactly what it is. Thank you. More men should listen to this. Thank you for understanding women pain and hurt. Yeah, so these guys sound really good on paper. Well, I guess in this case, camera. They're so understanding of women. They're great guys, right? Yeah, so Pastor Poppy Don, and that name should tell you all you need to know. Pastor Poppy Don? What the fuck, bro? Yeah, so he got exposed for being abusive. Dude literally beats on his baby mothers. Derek Jackson, the relationship guru, literally cheated on his wife. Another guy, Medusa's Judgment, got exposed by his ex.
Medusa's Judgment, also known as Poetic Exposure, is facing backlash after his ex-girlfriend shared a 3-part TikTok series, revealing that he's not the person he pretends to be online.
Dude basically got exposed for being a weirdo. And I think the saddest case of a Panda Bear situation is Joy Chandra. Again, this was another guy whose whole platform was about pandering to women. And what does he end up doing? Well, he murders his ex-girlfriend Maria in front of her 3-year-old daughter. Are we not starting to see the pattern here? Women need to realize that for a man to be a Panda Bear, it takes a certain level of obsession. These men literally study how women think. They literally analyze everything about women. And once they've downloaded the data, that's how they're able to do things like say all the
Well, I disagree with that take. It's not that hard. I don't think they work that hard to get to where they are. They literally just tell women what they want to hear. It's really that plain and that simple. They're not getting degrees in these topics. They're just figuring out what women like and just doing it.
The right things, sound like they're the perfect man. For example, with a guy like Derek Jackson, he knows exactly what he's doing. From the way that the camera is set up, from the way his arms are, you can see his veins, the tight shirt, the way he's sitting, the well-groomed haircut, the way he speaks to the camera. He knows who his audience is. Like, of course, the lady who's mad at her husband, who's having trouble in her marriage, is gonna find this video enjoyable. His whole character is being this Chad who understands women and is super connected to his emotions. But I don't want to drag this video on for too long. All I'm gonna say is, for any woman out there who's falling for these pandering men, these performative men, please take extra precaution. And if you don't know if they've got you under their illusion, consult a trusted male in your life, because usually as guys, we can see through it pretty easily. If you made it this far, I appreciate you for watching. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. We're almost...
I think I'll stop it there. But this topic is one that's near and dear to my heart, because I am a girl dad. And you know, these are the lessons that I plan on teaching them as they get older. These are the things that I've warned my cousins about, my friends about, family about. It's not going to change because of how effective it is, right? And I remember, like, this topic reminds me of a biblical scripture where I think it was 2 Timothy chapter 4, verses 3 and 4, where it said something to the effect of, like, people will listen to anything that itches their ear. Or in other words, it was talking about how people will seek out anything that appeases what they want to hear. And I do think we're at that point in life where we're seeing people would rather hear a comfortable lie than hear a harsh truth. And they will ignore reality just to stay happy. But before I end it, I wanted to say, like, one thing I've learned is there's certain red flags that women should be well aware of when it comes to dating, men as well, but this one is mainly for the ladies. It's like abusive relationships don't just happen out of nowhere. So that's why men get tired of hearing you say, he tricked me, he manipulated me, he did this, he did that. No, he told you what you wanted to hear. You liked everything he was saying and you went along with it. Don't try to pretend like everything went south just because you don't like the results. That's where we get annoyed. That's where we don't want to hear it. So most people know that love bombing is one of the main tactics that's used. Moving very quickly is another tactic that's used, because their goal is to try to get you in bed, and that's when they leave. So if you withhold a few things from them, you can learn who likes you and who doesn't like you real fast. I saw today there was a video where someone said, if you really want to know who likes you and who doesn't like you, withhold, and you'll learn real fast who likes you and who doesn't like you. Isolation from your support systems is another one. People who instantly get with you and try to get you away from your family, run away from these people. I had a cousin that went through that. First thing he did was try to get her away from us, and it worked. And then he abused her, and then we couldn't even get to her because she was so far, right? Like, just, you got to move better, right? And then another, I'll stop here. It's a whole list of these. Y'all could look it up, but you know, being overly possessive. And I'm not talking about the guy that doesn't want you wearing skinny, tight, scantily clad dresses when you go out. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the guy that gets angry because someone else looked at you in public. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. There's certain guys, you go, let's say you hopping on the bus with this boy and the bus driver says good morning, and now he mad at you and the bus driver. Come on now. Stay clear away from these dudes. All right, I'll end it there, and I'll have more content for y'all. This is just something I came across, on my way back home, and I felt the need to, hopefully this helps some woman, some young girl out there, because not everyone has fathers in their lives telling them some of these things. Not everybody has a strong male figure in their life telling them what to look out for. So hopefully, and I truly mean this, hopefully, some of the things you've heard today helps you in your decision making. Your spouse is one of the most important people you're ever going to choose in your life. I mean that. The people you have children with, the people you get married to, the people you're in a relationship, they are some of the most important people you're ever going to come across. Why? Because they have the ability to influence your life for better or for worse. Until we meet again. Thanks for listening to the Center Ground Podcast. We'll be back soon with some more great content. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on the video. We are a new channel, and growth is essentially our main objective. So send us an email at centerground.pod@gmail.com with any ideas or clips you would like for us to review. This was definitely fun, and I'd say let's do it again. But before you go, always remember, greatness lives somewhere within you. Just make sure you're taking the time to find the key to unlock that greatness. Until we meet again, I'll see you soon.